Welcome to Lesson 3. After completing this lesson, you will be able to explain the importance of assessing and monitoring student reading fluency. Researchers have pointed out that people can successfully focus on only one thing at a time. They can, however, do more than one thing at a time if one of those things is so well learned that it can be done automatically. In its simplest form, reading can be seen as word identification or decoding and comprehension. Effective readers cannot focus on both of these processes at the same time. If a reader is focused almost entirely on decoding, the reader will have few resources left to construct meaning. A fluent reader generally reads with speed and accuracy, but in addition, usually displays these kind of behaviors. Fluent readers can do the following: recognize words automatically, apply graphophonic, semantic, and syntactic cues to recognize unfamiliar words, segment text into meaningful chunks, and emulate the sounds and rhythms of spoken language while reading aloud. A non-fluent reader, in contrast, may display these kind of behaviors. They read slowly and laboriously, process text word by word, frequently ignore punctuation, fail to use meaningful phrases, incorrectly read words by guessing, and shows little certainty when reading high-frequency words. Students need to be fluent in order to be proficient readers. Their oral reading fluency can be improved through explicit instruction, but first you need to assess their fluency before you can determine what specific fluency-building activities and materials will be appropriate. Until children can decode and automatically recognize many words by sight, they cannot be expected to read aloud effortlessly and expressively. That is why formally assessing their oral reading fluency at this early stage is not recommended. However, kindergarten children must be involved in fluency building activities. Moreover, first grade students are not formally assessed on fluency until winter. During the early part of grade 1, first grade students must also engage in fluency building activities. These fluency activities will be discussed later in Lesson 4. Typically, curriculum-based assessments of oral reading fluency are administered by asking a student to do a timed reading of a carefully selected passage unfamiliar to the student, also known as a cold read. Students in mid-year of grade 1 through 6 should be monitored. This process should be repeated periodically throughout the school year. Moreover, it is recommended to assess students on grade level every 2 to 3 weeks. Students below grade level require intervention and should be assessed weekly. Let's take a look at how fluency assessments are done. To determine a student's accuracy, a student reads aloud a passage while the teacher records the number of errors made by the student. The teacher also starts their stopwatch when the student reads their first word. Students are only scored on what they read within a minute. Before a teacher can determine the accuracy, teachers must have prior knowledge of what is considered an error and what is not. Errors may include omissions, leaving out a word or words, substitutions, saying another word in place of the word in the text. Errors also include hesitations, stopping for more than 3 seconds, at which point the teacher provides the word, mispronunciations, leaving off or adding endings, or mispronouncing the word in a way that no longer makes sense. Mispronunciations of proper nouns are not counted. And lastly, reversals, changing the order of 2 or more words in a sentence. Self-corrections, insertions, and repetitions do not count as errors. Accuracy is calculated by using this 2-step formula. Number of words read minus number of errors equals number of words read correctly. Number of words read correctly divided by number of words read equals % accurate. By determining the student's accuracy, we can then use this chart to determine the level of performance at which a student falls for a particular text. Readers who score within the 97 to 100% range, the independent level, are able to read the text without assistance. Additionally, readers who score within the 90 to 76% range can read the text but require support. Readers who score below 90% will find the text too challenging to read even with assistance. Knowing a student's accuracy can help teachers place students in appropriately leveled text. Now, let's look at how rate is calculated. When the student has read for 1 minute, the teacher signals the student to stop reading, and the teacher marks the last word read. This is the number of words read in 1 minute. The teacher then counts the number of errors made by the student and subtracts that number from the total number of words read. The resulting number is the WCPM, or words correct per minute, read by the student. Researchers Hasbrook and Tyndall, 2017, did an extensive study of oral reading fluency. This table indicates the average oral reading fluency of students in grades 1 through 3, as determined by their study. For example, a child reading 63 WCPM in the spring of their first grade year is approximately at the 50th percentile in oral reading fluency. On the passage read, ideally, we want students to fall on the 50th percentile, which is considered average. A third grader reading 112 WCPM at the end of third grade is only at the 50th percentile. To be at the 90th percentile, a third grader needs to read approximately 166 WCPM by the end of the year on a grade level appropriate passage. According to Rosinski, prosody also has a direct link to comprehension. Prosody involves reading with intonation, expressive interpretation, attention to punctuation, to put it simply, reading the way a person speaks. A child who reads in a monotone voice, word by word, ignores punctuation, is unlikely to comprehend the text. The National Assessment of Educational Progress, NAEP, developed an oral reading fluency scale to help teachers assess students' reading prosody. Using this scale, you can evaluate the student's performance. This concludes our section on fluency assessment. Feel free to access files found in the resources page on accuracy, rate, and prosody. In the following lesson, you will learn about the types of fluency building activities and will be able to explain the types of fluency that need to be taught using the ELAR TEKS. See you soon.